More, more, I prithee, more. I thank it, more, I prithee, more. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More, I prithee, more. I do not desire you to please me, I do desire you to sing. Come, more, another stanzo. Call them stanzos. Hey, I care not for their names, they owe me nothing. Will you sing? Well, then, if ever I thank any man, I thank you. But that they call compliment is like the encounter of two dog apes, and when a man thanks me heartily, methinks him giving him a penny, and he renders me the beggarly thanks. Come, sing, and you that will not, hold your tongues. And I have been all this day to avoid him. He is too disputable for my company. I think of as many matters as he, but I give heaven thanks, and make no boast of them. Come, warble, come. Who doth ambition shun, and loves to live in the sun, seeking the food he eats, and pleased with what he gets? Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather. I'll give you a verse to this note that I made yesterday, despite my own invention. Thus it goes. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, Duke Domme, Duke Domme, Duke Domme, here shall he see gross fools as he, and if he will come to me. 'Tis a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. I'll go sleep if I can. If I cannot, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt. A fool! A fool! I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool, a miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool, who laid him down and basked him in the sun, and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms and good set terms, yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he, call me not fool till heaven hath sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his poke, and looking on it with lacklustre eyes, says very wisely, It is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour since it was 9, and after 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so from hour to hour we write and write, and then from hour to hour we rot and rot, and thereby hangs a tale. When I did hear the motley fool thus morale on the time, my lungs began to crow like chanticleer, that fools should be so deep contemplative, and I did laugh sans intermission. An hour by his dial. Oh, noble fool, a worthy fool. Motley is the only wear. Oh, worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and says if ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it, and in his brain, which is as dry as the remainder biscuit, after a voyage he hath strange places crammed with observation, the which he vents in mangled forms. Oh, that I were a fool! I am ambitious for a motley coat. It is my only suit, provided that you weed your better judgments of all opinion that grows rank in them, that I am wise. I must have liberty withal, as large a charter as the wind, to blow on whom I please. For so fools have, and they that are most garlanded with my folly, they most must laugh, and why, sir, must they so? And the why is plain as way to parish church. He that a fool doth very wisely hit, doth very foolishly, although he smart, not to seem senseless of the bob. If not, the wise man's folly is anatomized, even by the squandering glances of the fool. Invest me in my motley, give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine. What for a counter would I do but good? Why, who cries out on pride that can therein tax any private party? Doth it not flow as hugely as the sea, till that the wearer's very means do ebb? What woman in the city do I name, when that I say the city woman bears the cost of princes on unworthy shoulders? Who can come in and say that I mean her, when such a one as she, such is her neighbour? Or what is he of basest function that says his bravery is not on my cost, thinking that I mean him, but therein suits his folly to the metal of my speech? There, then. How then? What then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged him. If it do him right, then he hath wronged himself. If he be free, why then my taxing like a wild goose flies unclaimed of any man. But who comes here? Why, I have eaten none yet. Of what kind should this cock come of? And you will not be answered with reason. I must die. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in its time plays many parts. His acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to Sasha's eyebrow. Then a soldier, so full of strange oaths, and bearded like the part, jealous in honour, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly and good capon line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th aids shifts into the lean and slimpered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose well saved a world too wide for his shrank, and his big manly voice turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange history. Second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. I thank you for your company, but good faith, I had as lief have been myself alone. God by you, let's meet as little as we can. I pray you mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks. Rosalind is your love's name? I do not like her name. What stature is she of? You are full of pretty answers. Have you not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and conned them out of rings? You have a nimble wit. I think 'twas made of Atalanta's heels. Will you sit down with me, and we two will rail against our mistress the world, and all our misery. The worst fault you have is to be in love. By my troth, I was seeking for a fool when I found you. There I shall see mine own figure. I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love. Oh, knowledge ill-inhabited, worse than Jove in a thatched house. A material fool, I would fain see this meeting. Proceed, I'll give her. Will you be married, Motley? And will you, being a man of your breeding, be married under a bush, like a beggar? Get you to church and have a good priest that can tell you what marriage is. And this fellow will but join you together as they join wainscot. Then one of you will prove a shrunk panel, and like green timber warp. Go thou with me, and let me counsel thee. I pray thee, pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee. I am so, I do love it better than laughing. Why, 'tis good to be sad and say nothing. I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musician's, which is fantastical, nor the courtier's, which is proud, nor the soldier's, which is ambitious, nor the lawyer's, which is politic, nor the lady's, which is nice, nor the lover's, which is all these, but it is a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples extracted from many objects, and indeed the sundry contemplation of my travels, in which my often rumination wraps me in a most humorous sadness. Yes, I have gained my experience. Nay, then, God by you, and you talk in blank verse. Which is he that killed the deer? Let's present him to the Duke like a Roman conqueror. And it would do well to set the deer's horns upon his head for a branch of victory. Have you no song, Forester, for this purpose? Sing it. 'Tis no matter how it be in tune, so it make noise enough. What shall we have that killed the deer? His leather skin and horns to wear? Then sing him home. Take thou no scorn to wear the horn. It was a crest ere thou wast born. Thy father's father wore it, and thy father bore it. The horn, the lusty horn, is not a thing to laugh to scorn. There is, sure, another flood toward, and these couples are coming to the ark. Here comes a pair of very strange beasts, which in all tongues are called fools. Good my lord, bid him welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman that I have so often met in the forest. He hath been a courtier, he swears. And how was that taken up? How 7th cause? Good my lord, like this fellow, but for the 7th cause. How did you find the quarrel on the 7th cause? And how oft did you say his beard was not well cut? Can you nominate in order now the degrees of the lie? Is not this a rare fellow, my lord? He's as good as anything, and yet a fool. Sir, by your patience, if I heard you rightly, the Duke hath put on a religious life, and thrown into neglect the pompous court. To him will I. Out of these convertites there is much matter to be heard and learned. You to your former honour I bequeath. Your patience and your virtue well deserves it. You to a love that your true faith doth merit. You to your lord and love and great allies. You to a long and well deserved bed. And you to wrangling. For thy loving voyage is but for 2 months victualled. So to your pleasures. I am for other than for dancing measures. To see no pastime I. What you would have, I'll stay to know, at your abandoned cave. Yeah, that was shit.